All right, we are started. I am Scott Ayers with Post Planner today, repping my Spacewalk Bounce House business because I've been up since 3 a.m. and was on our local NBC affiliate, letting them play around on our bungee run and make fools of themselves for 2 hours, live on TV, which was pretty interesting and a lot of fun. So that's why I'm still dressed like this. But I'm here with Rebecca Radice and Diana Adams and from Post Planner. And we're going to talk about Facebook today, which makes me even a bigger reason for me to wear my local business attire.
Exactly. I love it.
Just housekeeping wise, if any of you guys have questions, you haven't been in a blab before, make sure you push that little slash thing you'll see in the chat in the queue so you can ask a question, and we'll try to answer those as best we can as they come in. So make sure you do that. And if we have time, we will bring someone on the seat that I guess I technically locked. I'm scared to unlock it because I don't know what happened. But let's see. Let's push it. See. Yeah, there we go. So it still works. All right. So I'm ready, guys. If you guys are.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you said, today we are talking about Facebook for Business and just some ideas, some very easy, quick and easy ways for you to use Facebook to create our connections, to expand your reach, to really boost your engagement. And we haven't talked about Facebook in a little while, I don't think. I know it's been kind of a Twitter party. It's probably all Diana's doing.
Yeah, we have been having a Twitter party, but
we talked about Facebook today. So
that's right. That's right. That was I think it was last week. So gotta go over to Facebook every now and then.
Yes. Well, we are in the midst, and today we're on day 9. We just kicked off 9 days ago our Facebook 30-day challenge, and the challenge is for anybody that wants to get more out of Facebook, that is frustrated with the results that you're getting. You've been struggling. Maybe you've started, maybe you've stopped, maybe you want to reinvent. Maybe you're looking to create something completely new on Facebook, whatever the case might be. That's what our 30-day challenge is designed for. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that challenge here today, how you might be able to get involved with that if it's something you're interested in. But more than that, how to get more traction and really start to see a return on your investment. We talk about that a lot here on, pretty much all of our events, not just our blabs, but how to help you get the most out of the time, maybe the money that you're spending and investing in Facebook. And I say money, but if you've spent any amount of time with us on our webinars, on our blabs, on our viral chats, you know that we are a huge proponent of organic and just giving you ideas on how to better improve your organic efforts. Now, certainly we talk about ads and boosted posts and different ways that you can expand upon that. But for the most part, we try to bring to you as many ideas that you can inject into your Facebook marketing plan for free. I think that's really, really critical these days as we're all feeling like, our money is spread out all over the place. And as I said, getting the biggest bang for your organic buck. How about that?
Oh, that's good.
Instead of just your buck.
Got to put that on a quote graphic and
Yeah. So let's kick it off. We're talking about, I just talked a little bit about expanding your reach, expanding your engagement. And there is a lot of power in your current community, that tribe that you've been building around you across all of your social networks. And I think people often forget, especially when you're first starting out on Facebook, that there is a great opportunity for you to draw from those communities you've created over on Twitter, maybe here on Blab, maybe on Periscope. And those are people that could be very interested in finding you on Facebook and in connecting with you on Facebook. And I think there's some confusion around that too. And we can talk a little bit about that, where, with Facebook, you have the opportunity to invite friends, which I am a supporter of to an extent. And that extent is making sure that it's relevant to those people that you're inviting, because you definitely want to make sure you're building a Facebook community that's actually interested in your business. Yeah, go figure.
You told me a stat a couple months ago, I can't remember what it was, about how few people go back to the pages that they've liked. And I think that's because, their friends begged them to like it, so they did. But what good is that doing you if they never come back to your page, right? If they never engage with your page, you're not going to show up in their newsfeed anyway, right? So, yeah, exactly what you said, Rebecca. The relevance there is so important. I mean, if you've got a page about health and wellness, invite people who would appreciate your daily fitness tips or your daily motivation, not people who could care less about that. Yeah. Well, and the importance beyond that is too, I think, what is that Nielsen stat that 92% of people, say that they have purchased something based off of a recommendation from a friend. So you have to think about that too, that if you're building a relevant community and they're excited and they're enthusiastic about your product, about your service, about your bounce house business, whatever it is, that they're going to want to share that with other people. And once they start to share that, then you can start to tap into a whole new audience, an audience that you might not have had the opportunity to tap into previously. Exactly. And just to tie this back into the 30-day challenge that you were talking about, I know that one of the days in that challenge talks about testimonials. And when you have somebody that really, posts something on your page about how great your business is or how awesome the customer service was or whatever it is, make sure you're leveraging that more than just on that one day, right? You want to take that testimonial and, if you're using Post Planner, it's super easy because while you're still in Facebook, you can jump over to Canva without leaving Post Planner and pop it on an image. But whatever, you're using for your images, you could pop that little testimonial on an image and recycle that over and over again. It's powerful stuff because, like Rebecca said, people believe their friends and family. If my sister were to call me and say, "Hey, you've got to try this product," I would jump on Amazon and order it right then. But if I saw an ad from the company saying how great their product is, I probably wouldn't even notice. So it's a huge difference there. Yeah. Well, and I always appreciate, Scott, your perspective from a local company. And obviously this is incredibly important for you that you are tapping into the exact right people, the people that are looking for what you're doing on a local level. And maybe give us some ideas of when you first started building your Facebook page, how did you find those people that were looking for you?
Probably for me, I went first to my friends locally. Like, you guys, I've never invited either one of you to like my local bounce house page. That'd be silly because you're in Georgia, Diana, and you're in California, Rebecca. So you're not a customer of mine. So it'd be silly for me to do that. So I make sure if I do invite a friend, there's somebody who can be a potential customer, because there's no reason to have your great Aunt Sally liking your page who lives in Washington State and you're only selling stuff in your 50-mile radius in Texas. So that's kind of the first thing. So I went after I invited all my friends to like my page first, because they are going to be your biggest champions. Those people who know you and they've got a belly to belly relationship with you. They're gonna spread the word about your business faster than anybody, and it's free. Like right now for us, I get tagged every day in some buy sell trade group, that's local, where someone's looking for a bounce house to rent, and one of my friends will tag me and, "Hey, I know a guy who rents them. And I get a ton of my business from that way, just from my friends recommending me. So that's probably the first one. Then from there, for me, it's ads. I love Facebook ads. I know a lot of people shy away from them, and that's such a bad word for a lot of small marketers. But I mean, I spend like $1 or $2 a day right now on just page like ads and just target those suckers to people in my zip codes, and it works really, really well for me. And so that's, what is this? Share. Oh, sorry. There's some little thing that popped up. It caught my attention. I don't know what that is.
All kinds of stuff going on at Blab today.
Last 30 seconds. Huh. So I mean, for me, ads have been really, really crucial. I mean, and we target our zip code. I target my demographic, which for me is, the decision makers in the household, which is moms. So I'm targeting women. I'm targeting I don't target 18-year-olds because they don't have any money. So I'm targeting 30 to 65-year-old women. That's who I target with Facebook ads, and it works really, really well for us. Like just for an example, we got a new, I hadn't even unrolled it yet, 27-foot tall water slide with a slip and slide. It's massive thing. I ran an ad for it, and I've boosted it once for $10. That's all I boosted it for. Target it to our zip codes, and I've already got 2 rentals off of that thing for $10, which is $1,000 in revenue.
I want to ride on that.
That is, that's all you care about. I just want to ride on it.
I'm sure we can find somebody who has spacewalking. I'll let you find one. But my point is, Facebook, people get so scared of Facebook ads because it's like, oh no, Facebook wants my money. Well, it's a business and you got to run it, but you got to target your ads. Don't blow your money targeting, not targeting. I think that would be my crucial thing on the local friend kind of thing is just target people target people in your area who are ideal. And I think that's been a big win for us.
We've got a couple of really good questions along that from Question It Out. I don't need local customers. I'm looking to build online sales in a really small niche. Any suggestions?
Where did
you see that one?
Huh. Oh, they didn't do the question.
No, they didn't do the question.
I don't need local. I'm looking to build on the online. I would say on that's a tougher, honestly. I mean, it's like Post Planner. You just got to target by interest. Yeah. Target those people who, like now I think in ads you can target people who have liked certain pages or have certain interests. If you're selling to iPhone users, an app, you're not going to target me who has an Android. That'd be silly. And so you got to target people who are your ideal customer. And there's lots of ways in the ads. Probably in Power Editor or the Facebook Ads Manager, I would think, right?
Yeah, definitely Power Editor. And, Kyle Murray makes a great point that Facebook ads are incredibly cost effective if you're smart about your targeting. And it really is. It's all about your targeting, identifying what those interests are that they're looking for, and then finding maybe pages that are similar in what you're offering. So what is your product? What is your service? What is your niche? What are other really popular pages that might have an audience around them that you could tap into? And I think there's a whole other layer of this that works really well in conjunction when you're out there and you're getting interactive with those communities as well. So really leveraging the community, like I said, that's around those other pages and getting yourself out there and seen. It's not enough to just sit back and pump out content. I think we all know at this point that social media, go figure, it's about being social and getting yourself out there.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I think that's 100% true. I mean, just, if you're not social, if you're pumping out content expecting people to somehow grandiose find you and engage with you, if you never engaged, I mean, what's the point?
Yeah. Exactly. What's the point, right?
Yeah, exactly right. I think there was another one there that I'm trying to scroll back up because I don't think they asked it as a question.
Put it in the side over here. She's put a couple of questions over here, looks like.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there it was. Did you ask your friends to pass along your info, or did they just do it because you were awesome?
Yes, and yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's a yes and a yes answer, isn't it?
Well,
yeah, and
yeah,
I think that. Sorry, go
ahead.
ahead.
We both said go ahead, ladies.
I know. I think it goes back to what we were just talking about, which is building those relationships. And KP Kelly is here, and I think I just saw Joel Comm too. Both of which are extremely fantastic examples of people that have built deep relationships within their community. So when you do ask, who do you know that could benefit from my page? Who do you know that could benefit from what I'm selling, what I'm offering? Your community is willing to jump in and assist, and that's where that interaction. Yeah, it really is.
That's the key, because you've already built those relationships, right? So when you're asking, who do you know that would like this page? People are like, oh, well, let me think about it. Oh, I know some people. They genuinely want to help you. They don't feel like you're just coming to them for the first time you've ever talked to them and saying, give me a list of all your friends. That's not an effective way to go about it,
Well, and I take that one step further too. If you're asking your current connections, so maybe your friends, to help you out, be specific. You don't want to just throw out a blanket statement of who do you know that would want to like my Facebook page, but who do you know that needs help with XYZ? So it's really understanding too, who do you serve? What problems do you solve? And then being very explicit when you're asking people for help, in what value you provide and whose problem you solve, so that they can help you. Yeah, that's another issue I see a lot of times too, is people just kind of put out that blanket statement and aren't specific enough, and sometimes there's some fear behind that. The fear of the ask, of going out there and actually asking people to help you out within your business. But I'm a firm believer that what the heck else are we here for? If we're not building friendships so that we can support each other on our journey, support each other, along the road to success, then why are we building these relationships in the first place?
Yeah, it's like if you've ever gone to ever heard of a BNI group.
Oh yeah, exactly the same situation.
BNI groups are they're like old school social media to me. I mean, they're before social media, because you go in there and you have to have referrals for one when you get there.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
You have to have at least 10, 10 people, 10 cards you can give to other people. But you come in and say, hey, who's looking for somebody who sells homes or does insurance or whatever,
or a plumber,
and you refer the right people, and I think that can apply in Facebook. In social media in general, instead of just saying, hey, come like our page because we're awesome, now we got this new business. If you're not an ideal customer, then I don't want you to like my page.
Right.
Because it's silly. It's just a waste of time and energy. I think there's a lot of people, I talk to them every day in our app sometimes, that have a lot of people. I have 1,200 likes on my page and no one's engaging. Well, because no one's an ideal customer. You're selling, you're trying to sell to the wrong people. I think you got to readjust yourself. Make sure you're selling to the right people.
Goes back to building a target audience, which we talked about yesterday a little bit, Rebecca, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it is interesting, isn't it? How it's all woven together between knowing what your business, your value proposition really is, who your ideal client is, being very crystal clear in your own mind as to who is that perfect audience. And I think back to when we all started, back in the day on Facebook, and the idea was cast the widest net. It was to connect with as many people as possible. And I remember when all those, what were they called, like Facebook Fridays, started popping up, and people sharing their pages so other people would like them. And I never understood that. Because
what was it? Links, no drinks, no, what is it? What Sloppy did?
Yes.
I forget what they did.
Yes, there were so many
Cocktail.
different, so many different names for them. And unfortunately, I think that only perpetuated that thought process that you just want everybody and anybody to become a fan of your page. And then people were frustrated that they didn't get any engagement, that they got no interaction.
That worked probably in 2009.
Yeah, sure, for a short time, but in reality, in reality, were those people actually buying from you? Were they actually becoming clients? And I think that's the biggest consideration is what's the long-term plan for you and your Facebook marketing? What is your goal? What are you trying to achieve? If it's just visibility in the newsfeed, all right, maybe an idea like that would work for you. But I'm willing to bet that 99 probably 0.9% of the people that are here or watching this down the road are looking for a whole lot more than that. You're looking for actual clients or customers. You're looking to make those connections that are going to turn into either, a short-term sale, a long-term sale. So a whole lot more than just spending your time talking to a bunch of people and getting that engagement so that you do show up in the newsfeed, which is terrific, but a very different goal than that of people that are looking to make a little bit more out of it. Fascinating to me to see how we've evolved within our Facebook marketing, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, it has changed so much, right?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. Well, and I think we're at that stage where, things are changing so rapidly. You really do have to keep up with what is changing within the platform itself, but stay very true to what was the reason, you got into Facebook in the first place. What was the reason you started a page for your business, and always bring yourself back to that. So you're never losing what that foundation is for you, what it's the real goal, and how is that rolling up into everything else that you're doing. I think it's very easy to lose focus on that.
And I think it's also easy to stray from the basics, right? And that is something that the 30-day challenge has really made me realize is sometimes you have to go back to the basics. You have to go back to having that, strong bio and the tagline and all of the important features that after you've been on Facebook for a couple of years, you just take that stuff for granted, right? You don't really think about it. And then when you're like, wait a minute, I really need to kind of get a little facelift here. That's kind of what the little challenge is about. And well,
it's always good to clean house. It's always good to come back and reassess and make sure that what maybe you set up years ago is still relevant to your business, because not only is Facebook constantly evolving, but our business is as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. And who your target audience was 3 years ago, it might be different. We're going through very similar changes and a very similar analysis at Post Planner right now, just taking a look at, who is that current client, and is it exactly the client that we were trying to connect with or that we were connecting with a couple of years ago, and how has that person advanced in their skills, in their knowledge of social media? And so you want to make sure that your business is staying up to date with your audience.
Exactly. I was just going to say that, because your customers and your clients, they're evolving just like your business, just like Facebook. It's all kind of an organic moving target right there. So yeah, I completely agree with you on that. Yeah. Should we show our little sign?
Oh, yes.
Okay. It's for our 30-day challenge. I hope you can read this, Rebecca.
I know. You were saying it was getting a little long today. I'm like, these old eyes, they might have a tough time.
It's a little squishy.
All right. So as we've talked about, we would love for you to come on over and take part with the 30-day challenge. I mentioned that we're at day 9, but this is a self-pace. So you start at day 1 and you work your way through every single day. So you don't have to worry that, we might be a little further ahead of you, and that you just work at your own pace. bit.ly.com/Post Post Planner Challenge is how you can get there. So Post Planner Challenge, and that will get you into the 30-day challenge. And what you get with that, totally free. For you to use. It is really a complete Facebook system in getting back to the basics. So we're taking you back to day one of kind of some business basics, in my opinion. It's a lot of networking, a lot of, what is your business all about? And this, I absolutely guarantee you, is going to be eye-opening going through every day, because it's not just going to work for you with Facebook. You can transition this into everything you're doing, both online and offline.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so we're doing daily videos to walk you through it. We give you kind of a synopsis of the day, a breakdown of what your to-dos are for that day. And then you get an assignment for the day, and then we test you too. So it's kind of fun. I don't know about you, but I love the tests. I'm all about goes back to days of school, right?
I get so nervous, like, I want to answer the question right. But
they're simple.
You forgot about the, or you didn't forget, but all the materials, the downloadable materials.
Yes.
I mean, so many resources.
Yeah, so everything from creating your, content calendar, your daily schedule, to how to find just today I talked about how to find great sources of content so that you're creating that perfect mix of content. It's not just you, but you're sharing other people's content as well. So yeah, it kind of advances you through those 30 days of using Facebook as effectively as possible within your business, so that you're not feeling as if you're getting on Facebook every day and just spinning your wheels, and you're 30 days in, and you're 60 days in, and you're 90 days down the road, or 2 years down the road with your Facebook marketing, going, what the heck am I doing? Why am I even doing this? I'm wasting my time. And we hear that every day. People just so frustrated that they're not getting more out of it. And so that's definitely the idea behind that. So as we talk about really building a business through Facebook and getting yourself out there in front of the exact right people, I think part of that is establishing a brand, establishing a brand that's just instantly identifiable, that people, they see your content, they know your content, that without a shadow of a doubt, that's Diana. And that it becomes synonymous, with everything that you're doing. So maybe talk a little bit about that and how you can establish a very strong presence through branding on your Facebook page. But of course, as I said, that really bleeds into everything else you're doing.
Oh, Rebecca, you are the one who's a queen at that, with the little ladies with the red hair and the blonde hair. I love those, that everybody knows when they see one of those images that it's yours.
You're talking about my little girl, yes. My little
I don't know what you call that. I was going to say a persona, but I don't know if it's actually a persona, but it does look like you. But it's just about finding that content that resonates with your audience. It's so important that it's relevant. That is really a key. And you'll notice that once you find that content that really strikes a chord with your Facebook audience, that people will start to engage with it, and they'll start to leave comments and like it. Well, then what that happens, and we've talked about this in our boot camp trainings many times, when people are liking and commenting on your Facebook posts, what they're doing is they're sending a signal to Facebook that says, hey, I like this person's content. I want to see more of this. And so when that happens, you're going to start showing up in the news feed more. And once you start, and I think the stat right now, I was reading it earlier today, it's about 10% for organic reach. So, which is kind of sad, understandable why so many marketers are frustrated with that. But once people start engaging with your content, you'll see that number go up. As a matter of fact, Leanne, I think you're on this call, Leanne at Post Planner, who is a brilliant Facebook marketer. She posted a photo yesterday that has, I think, over 80,000 reach. Rebecca, is that right? Just from
That's
yesterday.
exactly
And it's
right.
and what's happened, and if you we're actually in the middle of doing a case study about our own Facebook page and the extraordinary growth that it's had in the past 6 months. And one of the keys to that is that Leanne has been able to tap into the kind of content that our audience loves. And once that happens, it's like it explodes, right? You're going to instantly see a difference, and you're going to be like, okay, I have a donut store, and I should not be posting about auto parts, right? My audience doesn't want to see that. I should be posting content that my audience likes. So think of it this way. It's not really about what you like. It's about what they like. And it's really a magical thing when you're able to figure out what that is. And that doesn't mean it has to be all your own promotional content. That's not it at all. It's about providing value and becoming a valuable resource. And like I said, tapping into that.
Yeah. And I think on the heels of that, which we touched on just briefly, is getting consistent. So consistently getting that type of content out there that your audience is looking for, and then getting interactive. So commenting that, acknowledging your fans for their comment, for their feedback, for their thoughts. And there is another area that I just see such a missed opportunity for those businesses that they're looking to generate interaction, and yet they're just leaving their Facebook fans hanging with, never coming back. And I think some challenges that many marketers and businesses face is maybe you're a one-man show, maybe there's just a few of you. And so there's only so much time in the day, and it's all about managing your time on Facebook, of course, across social media, and finding, 15 minutes in the morning, maybe 15 minutes at the end of your day to come in and ensure that you're getting back with people, that you're responding, and especially as a local business, this is so incredibly important. Scott, you've talked about this, where if you're not, Johnny on the spot, they're moving on to your competition.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, you got to respond quick, and I think you do have to, like you said, getting in a little bit here and there. I mean, you don't have to sit. The worst thing you can do is don't sit on Facebook all day long, because that's
that is important. Yeah,
cat videos all day long. But I mean, I think as a business, you should get on in the morning, maybe get on in the evening, make sure you check your messages, check your comments, and then maybe post something here and there. Something I want to go back to what Diana said, and I key on this a lot. I've watched a lot of stuff from Brian Fanzo, who's a blabaholic and a live streaming aholic. But he says something it's got stuck in my brain is think like a fan. Think like the people who are following you and that you want to attract. And so you've got to post stuff that your audience wants to see. And I tell people all the time in our app, if you're a kids clothing store, and who's your ideal audience? It's moms. So you need to post things that moms want to see and moms are willing to share with their family and friends. And so you got to think a little different. They're not always going to share your sales post, but they'll share, something that, resonates with them, a quote about being a mom, or a cute picture of a kid or something like that. They're going to share those things. They're not going to share your sales pitches. So you kind of have to think like a fan has really got stuck in my head a lot. It's helped me even on my my own business, with our bounce house stuff and with Post Planner, just thinking a little bit differently changes everything when you really think like that.
Yeah.
I see people who are in social media who are running businesses for other markets, like, they have a health business or they have a lawyer, attorney business, and they're posting about social media. And that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Because your followers of your donut shop, they don't care about the latest trend in Facebook. You do, but they don't. So don't talk about it. Talk about stuff that they care about. I think that's really, really important.
That's such a great point. It definitely goes back to what I know we've talked about in previous blabs, which is it's not about you. just because you like it doesn't mean that your audience is going to like it. So it's again, Diana, you mentioned target audience and really understanding who is it that you're looking to connect with and what do they care about? We talk about it every single day, and maybe you can share your process. I think this would be really interesting in how you get to the bottom of the intent for your audience. And of course, we talk a lot about it with our blog content, but this is, universal. It goes across the board in really understanding what the struggles are of your, Facebook fans, of your audience, and then identifying what are they really coming to you for? What are they really looking for?
Right.
How do you go through that process?
Well, just going back to our Facebook page for Post Planner, we often, as you know, have conversations, all of us together, about what are the struggles that we're seeing with our customers. What are the kinds of things that they're going through that we can help solve? What can we do on Facebook and across social media and the blog, everywhere? It's really universal, but how can we solve those problems and offer value? And if you look at our Facebook page, you'll see what Leanne does. She posts content that will solve those problems. What are people struggling with? What are those very specific issues that our users are having on social media? Because Post Planner is, we're all about Facebook, Twitter, and social media as a whole. And so we address those, and then in between those posts, she posts the funny stuff, the stuff that gets people laughing, the stuff that makes somebody's day. And just going back to what Scott said, think like a fan. There's some content that's going to work well, regardless of what your niche is. Just because, we're human beings, it's human nature. We want to see something that's going to make us laugh, or something that's going to make us think twice, or something that's going to motivate us or inspire us. But also, then there's that chunky content. What does Josh call it? The baited hooks. The chunky content that's going to lead people back to your blog posts that solve those problems. And it's really about finding the right mix. And another thing, too, that you said, Rebecca, about and Scott, too, about thinking like a fan. And Rebecca, you were saying about, just take an extra step for your brand. It is so easy to go on Facebook and just like the comments to show people you've acknowledged them. And sure, that is a form of engagement and you are liking them. But what Leanne does that is so brilliant, and our Facebook page has grown from 104,000 to, I don't even know what it is now, Scott, 350,000 in 6 months? One thing that she's so brilliant about, she has learned like a keen sense of which comments to just like, to acknowledge, but which ones could spark a conversation. And those, instead of taking 1 second to like the comment, she takes 30 seconds and types something, right? Types a comment back. And then a lot of times somebody else will have a comment about, and it sparks a whole conversation. So think about that too. I mean, if it's going to take you an extra 20, 30 seconds to type an insightful comment back to a fan, it's absolutely worth that time. Wouldn't you agree, Rebecca?
Oh yeah, and I was going to say, I think it's really important that we qualify what you just said with almost 100% of our growth efforts are organic.
Right, I meant to say that. Right,
any paid marketing, maybe 1% over the last year. It's all our inbound marketing efforts. It's all what you're seeing right here. So what we're talking about today, yeah, you may sit there and go, well, you have 350,000 fans, so sure you're getting out there in the newsfeed. No, what we're talking about is building a page from scratch, exactly how we've done it. There you go, 349,223. And we are extremely transparent, in sharing our page and showing. What's that? It was what?
I said we gained one after I showed it to you. So.
But I think it's really important to say that, because I think a lot of times, there's so much advice out there, and when you peel back, the layers in that advice, what you find is there's a whole lot of boosted posts and Facebook, ads, and maybe other paid advertising that they're doing to get them there. And everything we're doing is as you said, Diana, going back to the basics of really engaging and interacting and creating that enthusiastic fan base, that group of people that actively wants to support and promote your business. And that's who you're looking for. That's who you want to connect with. And that's who you want to draw in with that content that we're talking about every single day. And I didn't hear you share your exact process, but I think that would be a great, Justin. How do you get started in? So you're thinking about, you're sitting down, you want to create a content calendar, and you want to think about what's going to be the best content to share on my Facebook page. Where would you start, Diana?
I would start. It depends. I mean, do you already have a fan base? If you're saying starting from completely scratch, then of course you're going to focus on that content, the content that's going to appeal to the people that your target audience is. And like you said, Rebecca, that may not necessarily be the audience you have right now. Like you were talking about the transition we're going through at Post Planner. It may be where your the audience you want to attract. Right? I think that that's a key too, is to think about who is your ideal client, not necessarily in some situations, who your current fan base is, because like we've said, a lot of people have built that up with people who aren't interested in their content because they were never targeted in the first place. So I think people who have an established Facebook page and people who are just starting out, it may be a little bit different. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, most definitely. And I think that's why it's important to start from square one and do the research and do your reconnaissance of
data driven. How many times a day do you say that? Be data driven. Exactly.
Really understand what your audience is looking for.
Right.
Then don't be afraid to test. And that's a lot of what Leanne, who manages our social media on a daily basis, is doing. She is out there testing various types of content, but also how we're positioning that, how we're presenting that, the context around that. So finding ways to test up that content and see, well, if I just tweak this one thing, do I get a better reaction? Do I inspire more engagement? And I apologize, I forgot the name of who had asked the question, but they had said exactly that their problem isn't sharing, the right or the wrong content. It's that they just can't get engagement on their page. And what recommendations do we have to, I always call them lurkers. We have so many of those, especially within Facebook, that they're kind of out, they're in the shadows, they're watching, they're paying attention, but you just can't get them to get on the page.
Yes.
Comment. Do you guys have some thoughts around that?
Ask questions. Say something, right? That's a huge one. Is ask the questions. Use your call to action. Use the tools that Facebook has available. I mean, there's so many tools that a lot of people don't even bother to use, and they're changing all the time. I mean, look at Facebook Live. It's there's so many people that have it that haven't tried it. Try your tools. Use what Facebook gives you. I mean, the engagement rate on video is so high. I mean, use all of the tools that you're given to reach those people. Sometimes, you have to get creative with it. And to that person who's saying, they've tried and tried and tried, you know what? Sometimes it happens like that, where you've got to try, what's the Thomas Edison thing, with the light bulb, he tried however 10,000 times till he got, know what, sometimes you just, have to try, and it takes a month or 2 or 3. And then something clicks and you're like, okay, you start looking at your insights. I see a pattern here. I see, okay, let me do more of that. Let me optimize that a little bit more, and you'll get it. You'll start to get it. But you know what, it also too is, don't fall into that trap of thinking you have to have a bunch of fans to make an impact, right? Rebecca, we were talking about that, when you did that training with Peg Fitzpatrick, that hairdresser in that little teeny tiny town who filled up her whole event. Of course, that's an example of a local business, but still, it just goes to show what happens when you have such a targeted audience. So even what I'm saying is, you can make an impact even if you don't have a huge audience.
Yeah. Well, and I love the idea of questions. Questions are, you can use those in so many different ways. You could use them as
fill in the blank, right?
You could drop them into a visual, which we haven't talked much about visual marketing. And I think another important aspect of getting people involved is humanizing your business. So really letting people get to know the people behind your company and your why. If you can help people understand your why, you create a much further or more meaningful connection to where, maybe it's you're just out and about. So here's an example. I spent the last several days with our CEO. Post Planner headquarters are in the San Francisco area. And I spent the last several days up there in our office with Josh Parkinson. And we were talking about ways that we really want to start highlighting our team. We're closing in on 20 people on the Post Planner team, and we are all over the world. I think we're in 17, how many countries now? I wanted to say 17, but I think it's probably more like 10 different countries.
Somewhere in the middle, probably somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. And so it's not only important, I think, internally for us to create those connections, but to let your Facebook fans in on who you are as a company. What do people do? So you could highlight your area. You could, if you are a local business, you could take pictures around your local area of you and the team. Or if you're a store, you could take pictures of your products. There's just so many different ways that you can highlight. And I was sharing our friends at Sprout Social. They do such a great job of this. They do it a lot on Instagram, where they share their team behind the scenes of, hey, and they're based in Chicago. So granted, it's a cool city to be able to see where they're at.
Unlimited great pictures in Chicago, right?
Yeah, most definitely. But I love to see, hey, we're at this event, or we're doing this, or we're chatting with so-and-so. So just think about how you could start to incorporate those types of images into your Facebook marketing, or even it doesn't have to be a graphic. It could be you sharing, hey guys, yesterday we did this. Pat Flynn does a great job with this. If you take a look at his Facebook page of using text-based just content of, here's what's going on in my business, here's what's happening, asking questions, getting feedback from his fans, and really getting buy-in. I think that's the important part, is making your Facebook fans feel as if they're a part of your business, that they play an important role.
And that goes back to the interaction as well, because if you're not responding to your fans, they don't really feel like you're there. And so then they think, well, why am I going to bother commenting on this? I'm probably not going to see it anyway, right? But when they see you on there and you're engaging every day and you're talking to people and you're in there with your fans, engaged in the conversations happening on your own page and starting those conversations and being a part of them, and it's different because they view you as, oh, you're right there. And it's going to make them feel more like they're a part of what you have to say, because they're going to believe that you're there. It's kind of like, and I hate to turn the conversation over to Twitter, but if somebody doesn't answer their tweets, nobody sends them tweets. Right? Yeah. But when somebody is tweeting to people, people are like, oh, that person's there. I mean, I notice when I get on there, when I get on there live, all of a sudden I'm like getting all these tweets. Well, that's because people say, oh, that person's there, so it makes a big deal to just be present, just to show up, is a big deal.
There you go. Just show up. Well, we have some more questions. Thoughts on the new Facebook reactions? Oh my goodness! Like I said, I've been traveling, and I came home last night, and I said to my hubby, I said, "Hey, did you happen to see all of the conversation about the Facebook reactions?" I said, "People are just totally freaking out about it." And he's like, "Rebecca, you live in a different world. My world is really excited about it. Your world is turning it into, this gigantic story." But I thought that was kind of funny, just the difference in perception of what those reactions are all about. I love that we now have the ability to further express ourselves. I definitely see the flip side. Social media managers saying that they're going to have a tougher time, possibly, keeping up with, interacting with all the different various reactions, the emotions. But, all in all, I think it's just another way for us to get more personal, for us to better, like I said, express, exactly who we are.
Yeah, I guess my concern with it is it's less. It has the probability of creating less actual comments and engagements because we're getting lazy. The like button made us lazy anyway, but now we can do all those other things. So I wonder if we look 3 months, 6 months from now, if we have a lot less comments on posts, because now someone can push their angry, or sad or whatever, instead of saying, "Hey, sorry about that," or something like that. So I wonder if we'll see as businesses too, if comments will go down, because now you have it's a quicker way of saying the same thing.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious what it'll be interesting to see what it does to the algorithm, because comments way more than the like. So I wonder if we have love way the same. That'll be an interesting
I think that's a really interesting point. And KP Kelly brought up, I am wondering if the reactions will lead to some useful data for marketers. And, I had the same exact thought yesterday. And I think that could be really fascinating, because it just gives us, in my opinion, even further data on, is our content hitting the nail on the head? How many people actually liked it? How many people loved it? How many people, were sad about it?
Would you have ever guessed a decade ago? I mean, even just think back to, you were talking about Facebook in 2009, Scott. 2009. Would you have ever thought we would be having this conversation about that?
Yeah. I don't think Zuckerberg thought 6 months ago he'd have it. So I mean, he's opened up to it.
And and I wrote that post several years ago about 5 emotions that the internet invented, right? There's these emotions, these things that we didn't feel before we were all online. I can just imagine where this is going to go. I love that online psychology. It's fascinating, like you said, Rebecca.
Yeah, most definitely. So let's see. We got a couple more questions here, and then we'll talk about the Facebook 30-day challenge real quick, and then I get to run to another blab with Jeff C., and I'll share that link too, where we're going to talk about visual marketing. One of my favorite
topic.
Yeah. All right. So here's
Jeff just put that link in the comments, actually.
I asked him to. Yeah. So people can join us over there as well. What is 1 or 2 Facebook ad mistakes you learned the hard way or see others frequently making? Such a good question. I think one of the biggest ones we talked about was not being hyper specific in your targeting. So not knowing who you were trying to reach. I see that across the board, Twitter ads, Pinterest, where you, yeah, beyond that, what are maybe a couple that you learned the hard way, Scott?
I think targeting is number one. I mean, that's the one I learned. I ran ads before where I just threw it out there to the United States for a page, and then I got a bunch of junk likes. It was cheap. I was like, and if you remember, even 2 or 3 years ago, I'd be like, hey, I got, a penny per like or something like that. I'm like, well, are they going to buy from you? Who cares? I don't mind spending $2 on a like if I know they're going to buy from me. So I think it's going after those cheap likes and not targeting. I think that's for everything I've ever learned, and I've wasted a lot. I wasted a lot of money years ago on different pages, not anything local. Just, when I was doing a lot of my own Facebook training and stuff, I probably wasted $1,000 on ads that were not targeted and that didn't result in anything except for an empty bank account. And so,
yeah,
gotta be careful with that.
Yeah. Well, and I think another one that I see quite frequently is not enough detail or too much detail. So not really understanding what your ad is all about and not taking the time to really think it through from your audience's point of view. So not being crystal clear in what, first of all, what it is that you're promoting. And then second of all, what's that step you want them to take? What's that next step? And be very clear, because oftentimes I see ads and I'm like, I don't even understand what the point is or what they're trying to get across. So really thinking that through too. And then also what's your end game? Where is this particular ad leading to? So what else does it support? What else is it something a part of? Something bigger, maybe a larger campaign. And what's your overall goal with that? And that goes back to what we originally talked about too, is understanding what your purpose is behind everything you do on Facebook. Are you looking to, run an ad because it's just engagement based? Are you looking to build up more, likes, shares, comments? Are you looking to drive traffic to your website, to your blog? Are you looking to create new contacts within your database? So really understanding what the purpose is behind that ad. I think a big fail I see a lot of times, because you're just so darn excited to get that ad out there. You forget to take the time to, really think it through.
Oh, Rebecca, I'm sure you know this, but did you notice that, you remember how Google used to do authorship? You can do that on Facebook now by putting your Facebook URL into your WordPress. So it shows up on your blog posts on Facebook.
Yeah,
That's
very
so cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Just another one of those little things. Yeah, that goes a long way.
Especially if somebody knows you as a blogger. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, most definitely. All right. Okay. So let's share your awesome sign one last time before I have to run. All right, so we would love you to become a part of the Facebook 30-Day Challenge over at Post Planner. You can get there by going to bit.ly.com/Post Planner-challenge, and we'll drop that right in here. And you know what? Let me just drop. Yeah, there you go. All right. And like I said, it's 30 days to growing your business page step by step. So we hold your hand every step of the way in showing you exactly what you need to do to set yourself up for success. Some of what we've talked about here today is part of that. But we go way more in depth than we ever had the opportunity to do here just in our short time together. So awesome. Would love to see you guys over there. But thanks again, Diana and Scott.
Thank you.
Yeah, joining us, creating such an awesome conversation around Facebook. It's always exciting to me to hear just how other people are using Facebook marketing. There's obviously a lot of similarities from industry to industry, but also some big differences in how you're able to connect with your audience.
Exactly.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see you next time.
All right. Take care, guys. Bye. And again, I'd love to see you over at, I'm going to drop the link back in here, the next blog that I'm going to be on with Jeff C. talking about visual marketing. So there's a link. I will see you over there. And see you guys next week.
You run it over there?
You got it. I'm running. Actually, I got to grab some water. Then I'm running.
Bye.
All right, see ya.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.